And Chris and Eric Talk has returned after a long hiatus. I'm Chris. That's
I'm
Eric.
Eric. Oh, I
From
thought we were introducing ourselves.
yes, exactly. You're coming from a different angle this time.
Yes, I got a bigger TV, and if I put my webcam on top of the TV, you would have just got the top of my head, which is not great. So I initially had this. Let me see if I can do this live real quick, and then I'll switch it back. I initially had this. That way, whenever I was talking, you would have something to see. And for whatever reason, when I went and hit camera, I noticed that my webcam was still connected. I had lost my webcam. Was the short story of this. So I was like, okay, well, what do I do? So I fucking made this. So we had something visual, and you can see by Chris's reaction why we couldn't run with this.
I wouldn't have made it.
No, you wouldn't have. But luckily, I saw the device was still connected, and then we just played hide and go seek. It was sitting underneath my upstairs router, by the way.
You found it, so that's what
No.
matters, I guess. All right. So a lot's happened since the last time you and I chatted. A lot's happened. Um, so I really don't even know where to begin, but I'll kind of just summarize what sort of happened. Most of the delay in recording and the fact that we're a month out is pretty much on me. Um, what happened was I was going to be missing 2 weeks because I was going away on vacation and I was driving to my destination. So the Sunday nights were I was going to be in a hotel room and with crappy Wi-Fi and everything, and I would have had to pretty much record on my phone. That just really didn't seem like a good option. The other Sunday night was actually after I got back, and it was, right after I'd gotten back, so I just wasn't really up to it. The week before, we actually missed because Eric, like everybody else apparently on that I talked to, had the week wrong, and everybody thought I was coming a week earlier than I actually was. So he wasn't prepared, and neither was half of my friends in Orlando. So I was just like, okay, well, that's fine. No big deal.
I remember you calling me. I was like, "Aren't you driving?" You're like, "No, I don't leave for like another week." I'm like, "Well, shit." Okay.
It's fine. And then this past week was just a very bad week for me. A lot of personal stuff happening. Stuff's gotten better, but to kind of summarize, the two big things were a family issue that is in the process of being resolved, and a passing of a former friend and coworker, whose funeral I attended on Wednesday. So they had passed on. They actually passed on Sunday. So that night, I wasn't in the mood, as you can imagine.
Right.
But as they say, don't call it a comeback. Eric and I never left. We're still here.
Correct. I'm calling it a Kardashian.
Well, in the video, the,
Yeah.
the the greatest television outtake of all time, by the way.
Oh, it was so fucking perfect. It was so good.
All right, so I'm gonna just kind of start off the show by sort of updating you guys on what's been happening in my life. Then Eric is gonna update us on what he's been up to, although he pretty much got the big update out of the way. His brand new big ass TV that I see reflected in his glasses right now, just dominating, just dominating everything.
It's very, very nice. I don't have any extra light. This is literally just the light from the monitor.
So, do you prefer that to a 2 monitor setup, just having one big monitor?
Honestly, yes. So I don't do a lot of like streaming or anything, right? So I feel like as a streamer, dual monitors is perfect.
Right.
I'm more of a content consumer than I am a content creator. And this thing is perfect for content consumption because it's literally an OLED TV, but they made it as close to OLED technology is fucking perfect. Outside of the whole, it could have burn in, but I'm not really worried about that because I change my monitors every like 5 to 6 years anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with OLED is that they only came in like 48 inches all the way to 65 inches, and you're not going to use that as a monitor. So this is one of those odd examples where I wanted something smaller than 48 inches, and this is as small as I can get that still meets all the other specs that I have.
That's not what she said.
Yeah, it's really weird, right? Like smaller is definitely better for the computer market. Okay, I'll put it in an example. You have a 1080p TV,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's 1920 by 1080, right? So 1920 horizontally, 1080 across.
Right.
I don't know how many pixels that is, but it's a lot. But if you got that in an 80-inch TV, you can see all the individual pixels. But at the moment you take a 1080p like screen and you put it in the size of a phone, you really can't see the individual pixels anymore.
Correct.
So it's that the PPI, the pixels per inch, and this is like a perfect fucking size. Yeah, it's 42 inch, it's 4K, it's OLED, it's got the HDR stuff. I mean, it's fucking phenomenal. It's
Now,
great.
let me ask you this, because you know more about this stuff than I do. If you do have like a 4K television, depending on how big it is, how big could the TV be before you could see anything individual?
It also depends on how far back you sit.
Okay.
From the TV. So if
you have an 80-inch 4K television, you shouldn't be sitting as close as we are to our monitors.
Right. Let me see. What is Retina? Because Retina is what they consider you cannot see like the pixels anymore.
Right. Would that be like what 8K is going for now, or?
Okay, so all right. Retina is considered 300 ppi, so 300 pixels per inch.
Okay.
Right. So what is that's from a viewing distance of 12 inches. So the further back you go,
yeah,
right? Because you got to look at like the further back you go, the entire TV will be within an inch if you were to like measure it. It's fucking weird, right? So the closer it is to your face, the bigger the inch is, but the farther away it is, you can compress more of an inch within a 12-inch radius. It's fucking weird. But basically it comes down to, if you want something where you don't want to see the pixels, you're looking for 300 ppi from a foot, and then there's a formula depending on how far you can get from there.
Yeah, I'm not even sitting 12 inches away from these monitors. Like the monitors are, I'm at least 2 feet away. Like,
yeah, I'm arm's length away, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
So a little bit more than 2 feet.
Like you can see right here, I can't even touch the monitor. Like I'm reaching for it.
Right.
So, yeah, and that's a good thing. I mean, I guess if I had a bigger monitor, like I've seen the extra wide monitors. They have them a lot at my job. A bunch of people have them. I would still prefer the 2 screens though, because there are times when I like to full screen something over here and then be working over here. In fact, for this setup here, ideally, honestly, I really want to do a tri-monitor setup at some point. I need a bigger desk for that because right now my desk is only big enough for 2. But ideally, when I have like a permanent setup, like where I'm owning the place I live in, and I've bought the desk that I'm gonna, never gonna buy another desk again, kind of thing. Because the way I look at it is, if I'm gonna do any kind of streaming or podcasting or anything, any of these creative ventures that we're doing here, I have one monitor for the control panel, one monitor for the content, which is you and I on camera right here. But then I would have a third monitor over here, and that would be like my research monitor, like kind of what I use my phone for now. If you're like, oh, look that up, well, I pull out my phone and look it up. But it would be really cool to just have that third option right there.
You know what you could do if you already have two monitors? Instead of having both monitors like vertical, you could put one horizontal. You could put one vertical, and when it's like this, you can split it. So
Yes.
you have one monitor here
Yeah,
and
and I've
another
seen that
monitor
too.
here.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Um, but this would also be useful for like a reaction video or something, so I can play the content, still have the control panel up, and still be recording myself watching the content. So the tri monitor setup is the big goal, and I'm working towards that. Just don't have the space for it. But damn, we really every time you and I get together, we always talk tech.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, of course.
I mean, we're such nerds. So before we even begin with like life updates and everything, I'm not gonna say I made my return to wrestling because I didn't do anything as like a character in the ring, but I worked my first show since before COVID. February 29th, 2020 was the last time I worked a show. And last October, right before I left for my trip, I worked another show. And the company's called Three Legacies Wrestling. The guy who runs it, his name is Ricardo Rodriguez. He was in WWE between... he was the personal ring announcer for Alberto Del Rio, and I think that was like a 2010-ish debut. I'm going to say, yeah, 2010 debut. And then he was around for a couple years thereafter, at least through 2014, 2015-ish, I want to say. So he's running the company. He's bringing wrestling back to Lancaster. I basically worked and helped produce the show backstage. I assisted Mr. Chio Frost with the timekeeping and the basically just keeping all the wrestlers' times, talking to the referee and everything. He was sort of running it and I was sort of assisting him, but we had a really good time. Really good show, very professional, really fun just to be around it again. And the next one is actually coming up this Friday as we record this on November the 18th. So I am looking forward to that, mostly because these are the closest wrestling shows I've ever worked. So I can stay late and help break down and everything. And even though I have to work on that Saturday, I'm only 15 minutes from my house. So
is this a volunteer thing or you can't pay for it or?
It's on my end, it's volunteer. If he offered me something, I would graciously accept it, but I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing it to be involved because I genuinely enjoy it. I've never once asked for money in all the years I've been doing wrestling for anything. I've gotten paid tons of times, and I usually just take the money, smile, say thank you, and just pocket it, and I don't even count it until I'm long gone from the show, because that's not why I'm doing it. It's never been why I'm doing it. I don't do this to make money. I don't do this, what we're doing right here, to make money. I do it because it's fun and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
If
we were saying before we recorded, this is my therapy session.
Yeah, exactly. This is therapy. So then I hit the road. So I'll kind of talk about the road trip a little bit. The first night, it was when did I actually start driving down? I started driving down on a Sunday because I worked the show and then I had to work on that Saturday, and I didn't want to like go right from work 2:00 in the afternoon and drive to Charlotte, North Carolina, which is roughly about 8 hours, give or take. Well, 8 hours including the break and everything. So I said, screw it, I'm just going to drive on Sunday. I got to hang out with Dan and Glenn, who both live in the Charlotte area. Glenn was gracious enough to pick me up. We got to try a really good pizza place. So I can vouch that North Carolina has good pizza.
Okay.
It was actually very good pizza. And then Dan's family was kind enough to let us hang out and eat in the house and everything. So I got to see Dan's house for the first time. It's funny, this is the third time in my life I have physically met Dan. And Dan and I have been podcasting together since 2013. And we've been friends since 2008. and we've
It's
hung
only
out
the third time.
third time. Don't ever, don't ever tell me internet friends are not real friends. I mean, some of the coolest people that I meet and I talk to are people that I game with that I've physically never even met. Some of them, Danny Jackpot and Mancubus, and some of those guys we play Among Us with. I've never met them.
And Matt, oh wait.
Oh wait, well that's part of the story. I'll give Matt. I'm gonna give Matt some praise on this episode, so just be prepared. He's getting a shout out. So we what was really cool was I got to see the business that Dan's parents own. They help ship parts for the BMW Z series of vehicles. So if anybody out there owns a BMW Z series and you need parts and you're having trouble finding them because they don't manufacture those parts anymore, there's a free plug right here. Get in touch and I'll give you the contact information.
They don't manufacture the Z parts anymore?
After a certain year, they don't.
Oh, shit.
And I got to see pictures of their competition vehicles and everything, which was really cool. Finished the drive. That's actually called you that Monday morning because I knew you go to work early.
Yep.
So basically what happened was I had a restless night in the hotel because I don't really sleep well in hotels. And it was... I woke up naturally at 5:45, and my alarm was going to go off for 6. So I just went, yeah, I'm up. I just got up. I grabbed all my stuff, got on the road. I'm like, hey, and I texted you. I was like, hey, buddy, when you're driving to work, call me. Because, I knew you were going to be around.
And I called you within, 5 minutes?
Yeah, and because I had no idea how early it was. But it was good because I wanted to beat the traffic out of Charlotte before rush hour. And by leaving at 6 a.m., I was out of North Carolina by 6:30, 6:45. It doesn't take that long to get into South Carolina from where I was. So then, I remember I actually crossed the border while I was talking to you because all of a sudden I saw a sign that I was in South Carolina, but I didn't see the sign that said "Welcome to South Carolina." So I was like, okay, cool. So
they don't welcome people to South Carolina.
No, I guess not.
It's funny because even though we didn't record, I feel like we still talked because that wasn't even the first. I think that was the first phone call, but that wasn't the only phone call that we've made. Because I remember calling you from a game store that I ran into. I took pictures of video games and stuff.
Yes, you
did. I think that was 2 days later or something like that.
Because I was actually in Florida at the time.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So, funny note from the story. Driving through South Carolina, I was being very cautious about my speed because South Carolina is known for speed traps. By the way, first cop that I saw on the entire road trip was in South Carolina, and I saw 3 of them within the first hour that I was in the state. So there you go.
Yeah.
So if you want to know which state on the East Coast cares about speed on the highway, that's the one. But I saw the flashing lights coming up. I'm like, oh, more cops, better slow down. And then I realized that they were a little too busy to deal with me because they were wrangling a cow off the median of the interstate.
Nice.
So that was just fun to see that as part of the approach.
Nice.
My car, because I took my car on its first real road trip. It's been on several now, but made it from Huntersville. Because I filled up that morning before I actually got on the highway. As soon as I left my hotel, I drove right over to the gas station, filled up. I didn't have to fill up again until I actually got to Florida. And I was watching, I'm watching the tank and everything. It'd been about 5 hours at that point. And I'm like, okay, it's approaching lunchtime. I am getting hungry. I could definitely use a bathroom break. It has been 5 hours. And I'm getting down to that point where I'm going to want to start filling up the tank. So as soon as I realized I crossed the Florida border, I said, okay, the next major exit that's got, the gas station and the bathroom and everything, I'm just going to get off there. So I'm 10 miles into the state of Florida, get off an exit, fill up the tank, pull up to a Wendy's. There's a crackhead outside the Wendy's muttering to himself. And I immediately text that to Dan and Glenn. And Dan goes, geez. He goes, You're 10 miles in and Florida's already being Florida. And that was the lie. Like, Eric, I don't know how the hell we lived there for as long as we did. I really don't.
I, you know, yeah. I think there's something about the heat that just makes us dumb. It's just like we just stayed for no real
Oh
reason.
my God. It was 85 degrees the entire week, by the way. So my allergies hardcore flared up. And then when I got home, they doubled down.
Nope.
So I still have remnants of the cough that I've had for like 3 weeks now. Oh my God, my allergies were killing me, dude. I felt like death. I'm like, yep, Florida wants me dead. Why did I do this? So, got to my parents' house, checked in and everything and settled in and sort of just, kind of had my thing going on. I don't really remember what I did my first night there. To be perfectly honest, I actually don't. I think I went out to eat. Oh, I went out to eat with, because I got there on a Monday. Yeah. So I went out to eat with my buddy Sam, who worked with me at Disaster. And he was kind enough to pick me up because I'd just been driving for 8 hours and I didn't want to do any more driving. We went to a wing house, which we don't have up here. Because that was like the thing, was I didn't want to eat anywhere that I could get up north. So Ale House was actually not an option this time around because we have Ale House in Lancaster.
Is it the same though?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing.
Okay.
So, but we don't have Wing House, so that was cool. And then I went back to Sam's place and I saw his ridiculous DVD collection. This guy is he's a movie guy. So that was kind of fun. And then Tuesday was my introductory to Florida lunch. That was when I had my Publix sandwich. I wanted chicken, but I didn't want to get like the whole full chicken because I wasn't afraid I wasn't going to be able to eat the whole thing. So I found out they actually make popcorn chicken. So I got that and I got a slice of cake because Publix cake is amazing. And that was my Publix lunch. And of course, I took a picture of it and I made a joke like, today's lunch is sponsored by Publix. And then 2 idiot friends of mine, who I will not name, took the post literally and went, oh man, congratulations on the sponsorship. Free food is awesome. You guys are idiots. You guys...
We wish we get sponsored by Publix.
Yeah. Jesus, if I was sponsored by Publix, I wouldn't be doing this right now. You'd be hearing a lot more about them on the show.
You'd be doing this, but that would be a green hoodie instead of a blue one.
So, yes, I did physically meet Matt in person for the first time. And he actually hooked me up. He got me onto his boarding pass to do the Guardians coaster at Epcot. Which, originally I wasn't going to even try to get on. But he said, well, let's just talk to guest relations. If we're nice about it, they might help us out. And they did. And it's not like we were lying about what happened. I actually did have technical issues with my ticket. So I couldn't have tried even if I wanted to. So shout out to the guest relations team. And this is another lesson that goes to tell everybody out there. When you're nice about the situation, the people are more likely to help you than if you come in screaming and blazing. Just for the record.
That is 100% accurate.
And I understand the frustration that can happen. Like, I get it. I've been there. We've been there. I have definitely gotten frustrated. But the calmer and nicer you handle a situation, the more likely they are to help you and take care of you. And they did. So the Guardians coaster was really fun. If you guys out there like roller coasters that are really funny and have music, this is a good one for you. I can't even remember the one-liners they were cracking, but like Drax and Rocket were cracking one-liners in your ear the whole time. So you're laughing, and they're playing music, so you're rocking out, but you're also freaking out because the car spins independently, so you're going really fast, and all of a sudden you're sideways, and all of a sudden you're backwards, and you don't know what the hell's happening. Really cool ride, though. Really cool ride. Highly recommend.
When I go back, I might go and try it at least, especially if it's not busy. Going back to Florida sucks.
It does, admittedly. The Ratatouille ride was actually pretty cool. It's the same technology they use for Rise of the Resistance. The cars are on like a magnetic track, but really cool. It was a 3D ride. Um, it was pretty much your standard dark ride with a Ratatouille theme, but really really well done. I really liked it.
Okay.
Soren had a 20-minute wait, so we immediately walked right on
That's just
set. Yeah.
unbelievable
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. Everybody who knows Disney is just like, "What?"
There's
Like, yeah,
like, were they closed? What happened?
like yes, it's a Wednesday and it's off season, but it was a 20-minute wait. I mean, we pretty much walked right on. Even with the sign saying 20 minutes, it was just because it takes you forever to walk to it.
Yeah. 20 minutes on Soren is literally not a wait.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
that's
not.
just the walk.
That's the walk. And we did Living with the Land and Spaceship Earth, and we're like, we're good. We don't need to do anything else.
I remember one day the line being so long at Soren that they shut down the escalators
I
because the escalators were part of the queue.
believe
And
it.
I was just like, holy shit.
I believe it. Yeah, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Didn't give a crap about doing Test Track because I hate the new Test Track. I've done Mission Space more than enough in my life now. And nothing else there was really like a necessary needed to do. So I focused on eating around the world. Got some good stuff.
Man, it sounds like you had a blast.
Yeah, except I was friggin' exhausted from just 4 or 5 hours in the park, and I'm like, I don't know how I used to do this all the time.
We were younger then.
Yeah.
Oh, my cats are doing things.
Yes, I'm watching.
Oh. Okay, well, she's just gonna shake her head.
Yeah, they do that too. There's nobody in here. Halloween Horror Nights I want to talk about. Nothing like blow away amazing as far as houses go, but nothing like horribly bad either. So, it wasn't really average. It was still good. But I'll kind of go over. I got the list of houses here, and I'll kind of quickly go over the scare zones. Weren't anything to write home about, honestly.
No
Nothing.
chainsaws?
Oh, chainsaws everywhere. So there is no longer a chainsaw scare zone. Now they're just sprinkled throughout the park. So there's no safe places anymore.
Oh, they don't have any safe zones?
So if you're outside of a scare zone, you may still encounter a chainsaw. Just a single person with a chainsaw, but they're there. They're everywhere. And again, and I will reiterate this, Express Pass on Halloween Horror Nights on the last Friday of the season is very expensive. But I did all 10 houses, saw every scare zone. We did 2 rides and a show and sat down and relaxed and had dinner.
It's totally
Spend
worth it.
the money. Spend the money. Indulge.
Because yeah, no, I mean it's not like an everyday occurrence, right? It's like a once a year thing. That's
if you only have the
point of
one
it.
time to go, like I did, yeah, if you're going to go multiple times, then whatever, wait as long as you want. But the Express guarantees you never wait longer than 15 minutes, and we didn't. We were in and out of every single house. It was great.
How much was your ticket for Halloween Horror Nights?
The ticket was like 80 something. The Express was over 100.
Hold up, $80 for Halloween Horror Nights?
For the night that I went, yes.
Holy shit, did they increase the price like that much?
Yeah. But it's honestly about the same that I spent when I went in 2018. So.
Oh my god. Hold on, I'm about to do an old folks thing. Back in my day,
Yeah.
it was $35.
Yeah, but now they have more houses, expanded scare zones and everything, and new shows. So nothing too bad. Of the 10 houses, I'm going to rate them from worst to best. At number 10 is Bugs Eaten Alive. You're touring a 1950s home of the future, and you get swarmed by bugs. Really not scary, just really gross. Walls
Hashtag
covered in...
Detroit.
There's also a 1950s joke in there too, with how far behind and decadent they are. I
I said what I said.
I know. God damn it. Anyway, um, and if you still had that friggin' avatar up, I think I would have just canceled the show at that point and just been like, nope, done. I'm not doing this anymore. Um, I mean, there were like walls covered in fake roaches and larva eggs and everything, and like the sound of skittery bugs. So if bugs freak you out, it probably would have scared you, but really, it just grossed me out. Like, so I was just like, yeah, that was disgusting. It didn't smell like previous houses did. That swamp creature house where you were in the sewers is still the absolute worst house I've ever been in.
Because of the smell?
Yeah. Number 9, I will say Hellblock Horror. It's a prison filled with monsters, and they've escaped from their cell. Nothing special about it. Very boring, very generic house. So that's why it ranks as far down as it goes. Number 8, I would say The Weeknd, After Hours Nightmare. I don't know anything about The Weeknd as a person. All I know is that if that we're supposed to be, like, in his mind, then this guy's got a snuff fetish, and I don't know if I want to know him. Because the whole house is, like, him murdering people and also being murdered. But the soundtrack was really good, so I'll give it that. The soundtrack was good. I guess by default, number 7 would have to be the Halloween House. 1978 version. Pretty good, faithful retelling. Had some good jump scares with Michael Myers. Other than that, nothing really special to say about it. Obnoxiously dark was that house. Like, I know the houses aren't supposed to be bright, but this one was, like, unnecessarily dark where you couldn't really see the scenes too well. Not much to say about that one.
I think it's kind of odd that you would put that as number 7. I love the houses that have a dedicated like movie to them,
Well,
like Halloween or Saw.
Sure, but here's the thing: the other houses were just better. They had better production. They had better scares. And that takes me to what I would say would be number 6, which was actually the Blumhouse house. It was based on Freaky and the Black Phone. I've seen neither of these, so I didn't get as much out of the house as I probably should have. However, I will say that the scares were very well done, and it got me a couple times. So, in that respect, the Halloween house had a couple good ones, too. The last room was a room filled with mirrors filled with Michael Myers', and you didn't know which ones were real. So, but Halloween only had the one really good scare they got me. Blumhouse had a couple. So, it goes above Halloween in that regard. The top 5 houses were all houses that were just done really well. I would probably go with Spirits of the Coven next. That is where you were in a 1920 speakeasy that got taken over by witches. Really cool atmosphere, good music, and some good scares. I really like that one.
You had me at speakeasy.
At number 4, I would probably put Decadence of Destruction. Basically, you're in this abandoned New York City subway filled with humans fighting for survival that have become mutated. I like this one a lot because it was just a trip on the New York City subway for me. It loses a couple of points because the actual thing is much scarier than this house was. So, but the faithfulness to being on the... I had a good time. The top 3 houses were all very good. At number 3 is Festivade of the Chupacabras. And the house actually made you feel like you were walking through like a Mexican village celebrating Day of the Dead, and the Chupacabra was on the loose. Really cool theming, extremely well done, and really, like, this one was one of the production houses. Very well done. Very cool atmosphere. Like, I probably missed a bunch of scares because I was so busy looking around at everything. Number 2 would be Universal Monsters Legends Collide. It was a 3-way battle between the Wolfman, Dracula, and the Mummy. You actually start off in like the mummy tomb, and he comes to life, and the Wolfman attacks, and you end up at Dracula's castle. And since the event's over, I can now spoil this, but the winner of the match is Dracula. I don't know when the mummy got taken out, but the last thing that you see is Dracula holding up a severed Wolfman head.
Nice.
Dracula kicked their asses. Number one house easily was called Dead Man's Pier Winter's Wake. You were in a New England fishing village covered with undead fishermen. Great atmosphere. You really felt like you were actually walking through a bunch of piers. It smelled like you were on a pier, like that salty ocean air smell. The visuals were really good. And it had the coolest part where at one point you see a ship that's it's basically like adrift, like it's kind of stuck up like this. The helm's up here, and at the top is a ghostly figure playing a violin, and it looked like the Ghost Bride from the Haunted Mansion.
Nice. They probably stole that technology.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was a real person, but still.
Nope, it was fake.
No, it was, yeah. That was easily my favorite house. We did the Mummy. The Mummy has been refurbished, so the effects are much brighter, and the animatronic still sucks, but the effects are done much brighter when you go through the coaster portion now, so you can kind of see what's happening more. So, still my favorite ride in Central Florida. We also did Men in Black, and they clearly didn't care about efficiency, Eric, because the three of us were put on a vehicle by ourselves, and you know those things seat 6.
Yeah, well, how long was the line?
Long enough to not be doing what they were doing. I guess they were just trying to they were just saying screw it, just dispatch, because I saw cars going with 2 people on them. So you know how in Men in Black you kind of compete with another car?
Yeah.
Well, their car had 6 people on it. Ours had 3. And we won. It was like over 300,000 to like 39,000. So, Jesus. Yeah, they weren't even trying. We actually got the whole thing where they give you the spiel at the end where you actually make it as an agent. That's how good we were.
Oh, okay.
And a shout out to my friend Vivian, because she cleaned house. She had 100,000 points before we even left the training area.
How, was she shooting herself like up?
I don't remember. I don't know how she was actually doing it. She just knew where she was shooting.
Jeez.
We ate at Fast Food Alley. That's the Simpsons area. We got Krusty Burgers, and here's a funny part of the story. So, I had actually gone back to my seat, and I think Josh may have been back too. She may have been the last one that got back, and she goes, "That girl's drunk as shit." And there's a girl 2 tables behind us, just head down on the table, passed out. Well, while Vivian was getting her food, the girl was up there and just dropped her water and just basically face planted. She was so out of it. So while we were just chilling and eating and everything, we were on watch duty because a guy was sitting with her and kind of feeding her a little bit, and she basically slowly morphed back to life. But yeah, gotta love the stupidity of Halloween Horror Nights. And yes, I did see security escort some people out. So that marks a perfect 100% streak. Every year I've done Halloween Horror Nights, even if I've only gone the once, I've seen somebody get escorted out. The streak stays alive.
Every time I've gone, I've always seen somebody get escorted out as well. Sometimes it was me.
Good job, Eric.
So my week consisted of just going to work. I did set up a few more esports events type of things. They finally got those monitors in, so I helped kind of put them up and whatnot. And I watched Clerks 3. We're doing this, by the way.
Right.
I watched Clerks 3,
right.
And what a brilliant fucking movie it was. It was hands down the best movie I've seen this year. And it took a direction that I did not see it. I knew it was going to be funny, and it was funny, but it wasn't funny at the same time. And I fucking cried. It made me cry. Oh, spoilers, by the way. Maybe we probably shouldn't say anything. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
It's been out and available on streaming for a couple weeks now. So at this point, if you haven't seen it, this is on you.
Yeah. So where to start?
Well, let's start by saying it was very funny.
It was very funny.
It was it and I watched all the movies to prep for this. And when I say all the movies, I mean I did Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Clerks Animated, the whole series, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Jay and Silent Bob Super Groovy Cartoon Movie, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, Clerks 2, of course. But yeah, I watched all that stuff to prep for this.
Okay.
All of it.
I just watched Clerks 1, 2, and then immediately into 3.
Which is fine. But
it was yeah. Oh man. Just
so like I kind of there was a couple of things I didn't expect that made me kind of happy. I didn't know Elias was going to be a major character again.
Right? And what a fucking perfect person he was in that movie.
So he loses God, well, because Randall's in the hospital, becomes a Satanist, and just every time you see him, he's just in a different extreme version of whatever he believes in now.
Yeah.
The best part is that last scene. We're not going to talk about what the scene is just yet, but when he's just like, as some of you know, I'm a Satanist now, and you just see Jay go like this, just to acknowledge.
Yeah, no, honestly, when it started off and like when Randall collapsed, I was just like, if this movie is about Randall dying, I'm not going to enjoy this fucking movie. If Dante or Randall dies, I'm not gonna like this movie. That's exactly what I told myself. Then I watched the whole movie, and I fucking love that movie.
So
God damn.
So you lied to yourself, is what
I
you're saying.
did. Apparently, I did.
No, Randall does not die.
No, he does not.
And when I realized, I ended up realizing that was the direction they were going in at one point. So, the first things first, we're going to start spoiling it, guys, so you might want to just skip ahead. Unless you're watching this live, in which case you're screwed, but that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, first things first. We realized Becky's dead right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, are you kidding me? They're doing with this as a all right. I'm like, all right. Well, great. They're going to make me feel emotions right at the beginning of the movie. And then he has the part where he visits her grave and she talks to him in the graveyard. And I'm like, okay, well, this is emotional as hell. But they also made it really funny because she's talking about how she fucks everybody in heaven and lets them go ass to mouth.
Yeah. Of course you do.
Of course you do. It's heaven. We're dead. Nobody cares. So I was like, all right. I appreciated that. And then everything that they're doing with the whole how meta it was, like when they decide to make Silent Bob the director, and he's like, the first thing you need to understand is that the colors in this place are awful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is Kevin Smith is just straight up shooting at this point. Like he's not even in character at this stage. The fact that Randall basically lives in the office space, so he can just walk right out the door. I got a kick out of that. Again, Elias was great. He's going for an NFT. It's a Jesus kite.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And all of the scenes where they're just like, oh, remember, and they're recreating all the scenes from the original Clerks, and they've even got the actors to come back and replay their parts, which I thought was great. And they made a reference to the original dark ending of Clerks, where they're gonna shoot Dante and leave him for dead.
Yeah,
which Kevin Smith was told to take out of the movie. So I appreciated that reference. But what happens, Eric?
Well, so the whole premise of like why they're even filming the first movie basically or actually both of them. The whole reason that they're even filming is because Randall does have a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor is just like, hey, people who experience this normally go through like a very deep depression, and it is probably critical of you to help him get out of this depression.
Also, he's depressed because he has a small penis.
Yeah, he's just like, you make sure nobody's here. I'll die before oh, dude, it was so fucking funny.
You need to take your underwear off, sir. No, but I've always told everybody it's huge, and I don't want them to be disappointed. Like, what a perfect Randall. He's literally dying, and
Yeah.
he's still concerned. Like, that's so Randall.
Oh my god. And then so Randall's like, oh, okay, I want to make this movie. And
Well, it's a cool concept too, because he's like, we watch movies all the time. We always said we could make a better movie than some of the crap we've seen, so why don't we do it? And that's exactly why he decides to make the movie.
yeah.
Which is literally based on Kevin Smith. That's when he said, like, working in a convenience store, dealing with all these asshole customers. A lot of that stuff was shit that he dealt with in real life, like the person going through all the milk and everything and counting the eggs and all that crap. Like, Kevin Smith dealt with that in real life. It would be like you and me writing a movie about working at a theme park.
We could totally fucking do it.
Yeah, and there
however,
would
the amount of money that it would cost to rent out a park to film it. Ugh.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to, I don't know, we'll just film it in Dutch Wonderland in Lancaster. It can't be that much money, right?
Or we'd have to like freehand it, right? We take like a camera and just record it while there's actual people there.
Yeah, that's how they did that Escape from Tomorrow movie, the worst movie I've ever seen in my life, so we're not duplicating that.
Well, I'm sure we could do better than that, though.
Anybody could do, friggin' monkey could do better than that. My cats have shit better movies than that movie was. But I digress. So they're basically making the first Clerks is what they're doing.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, well, I'll make a script. And he starts saying like all these lines that was just iconic. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Like, I don't know how many times that was said throughout the whole fucking movie.
It was part of the audition scene.
Yeah.
All the different actors. Ben Affleck was in there.
I forgot about the audition.
The audition scene is great. Freddie Prinze Jr. as himself.
And then, at one point, it's just like, we'll just have everybody play themselves.
Yeah, Dan T.
And then, yeah.
But he tells him, he said, and I'm the Luke of my story. He goes, I'm not even the Han or the Chewie. He goes, no, you're the Dak. That's what he tells Dante. He goes, you're the Dak. That comes back at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it takes like the whole thing is just basically them recreating the movie. Dante, like, experiencing his life without Becky.
Right. Basically being second banana and everything to Randall. And
it just somewhere, and I can't pinpoint it, but you can see like this like Dante is not amused, and he's getting more pissed off and more annoyed at Randall,
which is Clerks and Clerks too.
Yeah.
It's nothing new that we haven't seen before. Yeah, but
like Randall has this thing of like just saying the right thing when you really want to be pissed off at him, but you're just kind of like, God damn it, Randall. And we know people like that in real life. That's the fucked up part is. And sometimes I'm the Randall. So, like, a lot of times I'm the Randall. I get it. I piss people off. I'm sorry. But I mean well. Unless I'm hungry, and I don't mean I just want food. I think one of my favorite parts was just like you could see the like Jay and Silent Bob going from like selling weed outside of this convenience store to now owning a legal business selling weed next to
Oh
it.
yeah, aren't they like still trying to sell outside? They're like, you own a weed business, just go sell it in there. Like, don't.
Yeah, they still go outside. They took over the video shop.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, why don't you just go film in the video shop? And they're like, well, you own it now. And that was one of the scenes. Oh, God. But no, like, honestly, I don't want to spoil too much of the movie. I think people like listening already knows what happens, but the story takes a trip. I was like not on board with Randall during the attack. During like when Dante had the heart attack.
Yeah.
And he went to the hospital. Randall was a complete fucking douche. Complete dick.
Well, that was the narrative that they wanted you to go with, because they were subverting your expectations for what was going to happen. Like, Elias is getting mad at him because he's going to go work on the movie.
Yeah. Elias is like honestly top tier character.
Yeah. In this he was. And of course he goes, all right, I need a favor from you. I need you to create a sweet diversion. Jay just runs through the hospital with his pants down.
Yeah. And then
yeah, so I need to talk about that scene.
all right.
Because that scene broke me in ways I can't even honestly explain. But like, so Dante's laid up in the hospital. He's on, he's on all the tubes and everything. I'm not gonna say he's on. I guess he would be on life support at that point, but he's still conscious. And Randall comes in. He says, "Hey man, I finished the movie. I want you to watch it." And at first you're thinking like, "Come on, that's all you care about? Just making him watch this movie?" And then he puts it on and he fucking hits you with the line where he says, you're the hero of my story. You've always been the Luke. You're my hero, Dante. And I was like, oh fuck, we're doing this, aren't we? like that, going back to like that Clerks II moment.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, yep, we're doing this,
prison
aren't we?
moment.
Yeah. And then they're showing the scenes from the movie, and it cuts to Dante actually watching it in a movie theater, in an empty movie theater by himself, and Becky's there watching it with him, and he checks out before the movie's over.
Oh, fucking stop.
Like,
stop.
I know.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, it fucking broke me. It literally broke me.
I immediately texted you.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was bad. I was an emotional wreck. And then the actual funeral scene, they put some good humor in there, which I appreciated, like where Elias is giving the speech and it's just really awkward and uncomfortable. Jay's daughter makes a pass at... Who does she make a pass at? Oh, Elias's friend who doesn't say anything through the whole movie.
Yeah.
She makes a pass at him, which I got a kick out of that. And then when he says something like, I'm going to quote The Departed, and by that I mean My Best Friend, not the Martin Scorsese movie. And he says something like, which was really good right up until the end, and you see Silent Bob's like agreeing with him. And then that was the other part that broke me. He hits me with, "You're not even supposed to be here today." And that one was a fucking dagger to the heart. Dagger to the heart. But then the last scene, they bring it back around with some good humor, because Dante got his ex-wife to loan him money, and she's coming to collect, and she's giving Randall shit because he's still alive, trying to get on him. And then the fucking silent guy runs in and starts screaming, "The kites are flying." And of course, as Elias is screaming back, "Holy shit, the kites are flying," Randall's sitting there talking over him going, "He talks?" Like,
yeah. Oh my God.
"Here's your cut, you bitch." Just whips money at her. And then the best part is Jay and Silent Bob run in. He's like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. You want to buy some weed? He goes, hell yeah, I want to buy all the weed. And then
Oh my god.
over the credits, Kevin Smith has a monologue where he basically thanks the fans. And that was what a perfect ending.
Yep. That's a perfect ending. We now have a new perfect trilogy.
Mm-hmm. The Clerks trilogy. How about that?
Oh my god. So let's talk about some of the funny scenes that like we kind of just glossed over because we got all emotional and shit.
Jesus Christ.
There was one where he the the Asian like engineer or something like that. I can't remember what the fuck what where they were making fun of the Asian architect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, what, because he's Asian? Like you're making stereotypes about architect? Like, no, he studied Asian architecture. Like it
Oh,
was
okay.
them
And he goes, he also happened to be Asian.
yeah, he also happened to be Asian. But it was funny because he's like all the like, do you remember the controversy like in Clerks 2 or whatever? No, the original Clerks, where they were like, oh, this is like a racist remark. And
Yeah.
he's going back and he's like retrofitting all the shit that he
Yeah.
said before. It was so funny.
Did you like the fact that the lady that was there to bring her daughter in to do a school report also brought her husband named Lando, and it was supposed to be Lando from the animated series, and she wouldn't let him talk no matter what. She just kept screaming at him. Like, I appreciated the hell out of that.
It was gold, man. That was
It
so
was
good.
no, it was great. Clerks 3 is fantastic, and I had been pre-warned that it was going to be an emotional roller coaster.
I was not given that warning, and I'm over here bawling my eyes out at work because I'm watching that while working. And oh my god,
That is your first mistake. No, when I'm going to watch a movie like that where I might have an emotional response, I watch it locked away by myself so I can have all the emotions that I want and nobody will see it.
that's a good strategy. I'll try that next time.
I
But I
had
was
all
thinking
the
it was going to be
emotions.
a funny ass movie with
It
no
was
emotion.
it was a funny ass movie.
I just wasn't expecting the emotional piece.
Well, did you not learn your lesson from Clerks 2?
Well, that was like good emotional. This was like bad emotional.
Yeah.
Because like, how at the end did I feel fucking bad for Randall of all people?
Because that's how they made it. They made it happen. They even had a good throwback to Clerks 2 in there when he gives Elias Dante's spot at the cash register, and he said, "I told you when Dante's gone, it's going to be you and me, buddy." He kept his promise to Elias.
Yeah.
They were even, oh my god, when they said they were going to recreate, well, that was when Dante has his breakdown when he sees the movies, but they were going to recreate the donkey show as part of the movie. Oh my god. And then they get all the movies workers high and they start dancing.
that was pretty funny.
That was pretty good. Clerks 3 is phenomenal. I highly recommend it.
Yes.
Like, I really can't say anything more positive about it. It was really good.
I honestly can't think of anything negative other than like, you know,
that it made you feel things that
it made me feel things, and I didn't want to feel things.
Well, too bad. Yeah, so as far as like I'm working on a 25 Days of Christmas project. I'm going to watch something every day in December from the 1st to the 25th. Is my iPad handy? It's over there. I hope everybody enjoyed that lovely shot of my ass. I'm not editing this, so
we're keeping it in.
They're keeping it in. Well, we're recording this live, so couldn't edit it if I wanted to. So I came up with a list. It is actually over 25 items, but I'm also doing that as a. I've got backups. Like I've got some small specials and stuff on here. So like, in the event that I'm not in the mood for a feature length one of those days, because 25 feature lengths in a row could be a lot. I have some backup plans in there too. But here's what the list consists of currently. I'm not sure if I'm probably going to end up watching everything on the list. But I'm going to go over what I selected for this year's project. So the first movie is 8-Bit Christmas. That came out last year, I think. That was the story about trying to get an NES.
Okay.
I never actually got around to watching it, so I'm going to rectify that this year. A Christmas Story, that's going to be the December 25th movie. Already decided. That's how I'm going to end it. That's like a good Christmas day. Put it on and just enjoy it. Arthur Christmas, which I've never actually seen. Animated movie. I don't think it's DreamWorks. I actually don't remember who Arthur Christmas is from. But I've heard it was good. Always wanted to watch it, so I'm including it. Bad Santa.
Great movie.
Billy Bob Thornton. Charlie Brown is on here. The Charlie Brown Christmas special is short and easy, so that's kind of like a backup plan. The Christmas Chronicles, which I have not seen. I've heard great things about, and I know that there's a sequel, so I'm going to at least watch the first one, see how I feel, and then decide later. I picked a movie called Deck the Halls. I never really heard of it until I started researching stuff for the project, but it's Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito, and Matthew Broderick is the straight-laced neighbor, Danny DeVito's the wacky neighbor, and they're going to compete to see who can decorate their house better. Yeah, I'm sold. like that wasn't a hard sell.
You had me at Danny DeVito.
Yes. Elf, classic. I like it. Not everybody's favorite, but I like it. Four Christmases, which I've never seen. They're navigating each of their divorced parents' houses for Christmas. It's supposed to be a fun comedy. Why not give it a try? Fred Claus, that's Vince Vaughn as the brother of Santa Claus. Never seen it. Heard it was good. Gonna give it a watch. 2 Home Alones. Home Alone and then Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. The only 2 Home Alone movies that have ever been made. No other Home Alone movies exist, so we'll watch those.
All right, sure.
Yeah, they're classics, though, and I love the Home Alone. Home Alone 2 is the example I give of a comedy that borrows from the first and still manages to be good. Hangover 2 is the opposite example that I use of a comedy that borrows from the first and manages to not be good.
That's fair.
I am aware that there's a Hangover Part 3. I have not seen it, and I don't plan to.
It should be called Home Alone 1, right? Like just Home Alone. And then Home Alone 2 should just be called Really Bad Parenting Again.
We suck at this.
We really do. At least they made it to the airport that time.
You know what I appreciate about Home Alone 2, though?
What?
They have a really shitty Christmas in Miami. And that's what you deserve. You deserve your crap-ass Christmas in Florida for how bad of a family you are. So, there you go. The Grinch is on here as a backup. That would be the original animated. I'm not a fan of the live-action Jim Carrey one, and I have not seen the Benedict Cumberbatch animated one. Don't know if I'm going to change that.
Hold on.
Who has arrived? A puppy?
Yes.
Oh.
Come here.
I want to see the puppy. Ah, there she is. Hi, Asha.
She is not liking this at all.
Ah, well. How do the cats like the dog?
They don't.
That sums that up. We have Jingle All the Way. I love that movie. It's bad, but I love it. It is. It's not a great movie, but I still love it. Just Friends, which Was that the Sandra Bullock movie?
That sounds like it.
It sounded intriguing though. Basically, yeah, she saves the guy's life, and basically it's supposed to be she's basically crushing on him. Might be worth it. I generally like Sandra Bullock movies, so
They're not bad.
no. Love Actually, I've seen it once because it's an anthology film and it jumps around a lot. It was very confusing, so I'm hoping the second go around will be much easier.
No, it won't be.
Muppet Christmas Carol. Also, the Disney Christmas Carol I glossed over is on here, but that's like 30 minutes, so that's an easy corrective. Muppets will be a definite, though. That's like every year. Watch that. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. That's the Christmas Eve slot. Goes to that. The Night Before. This will be my first time seeing that one. That is the Seth Rogen Christmas movie that came out a few years ago.
The Night Before?
Yeah. I heard it was really funny, so I'm going to watch it. Nightmare Before Christmas. That is the December 1st movie, by the way. That's the kickoff. Classic. Love it. Always love it. Office Christmas Party. Never saw that. Heard it's hysterical. Gonna watch it for the first time. I'm going to watch The Ref for the first time. Jeff Trelowitz swears by this movie. And I've never seen it. But I like Dennis Leary, so...
The Ref?
Yes. Yeah, he basically breaks into the couple's house, and they're bickering, and he gets involved in the argument. So that's where the referee. It actually sounds really intriguing.
Oh, it's a comedy crime drama?
Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
3 Santa Claus movies. Why not? Scrooged. The modern take of A Christmas Carol with Bill Murray. Have you ever seen that one?
No.
You would love it. You would love it. It's Bill Murray plays an asshole TV producer, and it's a Christmas Carol, just with a modern take on it. And Bill Murray humor. You'd love it.
Okay.
You would absolutely love it. The last movie I put on the list, I'm not sold on yet because there are a handful of chick flicks on here already, is While You Were Sleeping. But because it's gotten good reviews and it came recommended by a couple of people, I decided to say, screw it, I'm going to give it a watch. I asked for some suggestions on Facebook, got a couple. Not 100% sure how many of them I'm following up with, but it don't matter. Because if I decide I'm not in the mood for something, I just switch it out. So, now let me ask you this, sir. Did you see Weird, the Al Yankovic story?
I have not.
Okay. So let me tell you guys this. I went through... First reaction to the movie was, that's not the way his parents acted. They supported him. Then it was, oh, I see what they're doing. They're doing a parody. I kind of wish I was getting an actual biopic, but, well, this'll do. And then the last reaction was, this is everything I ever wanted it to be.
Really?
Because once I realized and accepted they were doing a parody story and it was a mockumentary and I realized how ridiculous they were going with it, I said, nope, this is brilliant. And then it became everything I wanted it to be, and I didn't realize that's what I wanted it. So I went through those 3 phases, and now I'm like, yep, this was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Because I was under the assumption that it was like a documentary.
No, it is a parody. Because I was like, he never dated Madonna. The part that officially turned me around was he releases Eat It, and then Michael Jackson releases Beat It, And the controversy is that Michael Jackson ripped him off. And I was like, nope, I fucking love this. This is perfect. This is absolutely perfect. So
That's fucking fantastic.
big kudos to the to the direction that they went in. And then the ending is so goddamn funny.
Don't spoil it. I actually do
I'm not gonna
see
spoil this one for you. The ending is so goddamn funny when you realize what they're gonna do. Oh my god, I was like, I loved it. I loved it. So yes, I highly recommend the Weird Al biopic, even if you're not a fan of Weird Al's music. You will still find enjoyment in this. So I'm like, he didn't actually date Madonna, did he? Oh no, wait, it doesn't matter. None of this is real.
So, do they do the slow, gradual until it's super ridiculous? Like, do they start off where like, okay, yeah, this could be
Yes,
real,
that's why I
and
wasn't.
then,
That's why I was trying to figure out what they were doing. I'm like, it's a plausible story, like when he's a kid and everything. Like, there's plausible stuff that's happening, and then you realize where they're going with it, and you're like, no, wait a minute, this is fucking perfect.
oh god, I can't wait now.
So yes,
Okay, all right, another movie to see while I'm at work.
yeah, it is and this one won't actually make you cry.
Good.
So that's good. It might make you cry tears of laughter. Some of the scenes are outright hysterical. So very, very well done. And you get treated to an all new Weird Al song during the credits that he made just for the movie.
He's been doing this forever now, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Since the 70s.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah. He's outlasted some of the artists he's parodied.
That's... I feel like he's the only one doing this kind of thing, too. Like, is there another person? Like, can you think of another person other than...
I mean, there's plenty of parody artists out there, but none of them have the success he does. And the other thing is that he always went for that family-friendly atmosphere. And say whatever you will about that humor and keeping it safe and everything, but it outlasts raunchy humor every time. That's true. Like, and that's the thing, like, you go back and you watch the old seasons of South Park, they don't hold up. It really was all dick and fart jokes.
I don't know, man. If I hear the Kyle's Mom song,
there's exceptions to every rule, Eric. But like, they really, they did a phenomenal job with this. Like, and I love. Have you ever seen some of like the reactions to Weird Al's music from the artists and everything? Like, and heard some of their stories.
I've heard like some people get super excited when they get parodied. Like,
well,
but then there's some not so much.
Yeah. Well, did Coolio pass away since we've recorded?
Coolio has passed away.
Was that after the last time we recorded? Or I can't remember now.
He was alive the last time we recorded.
Okay, yeah.
And then he died.
Well, fortunately...
on our hiatus.
I know, good God.
And then you've come back, and now it seems like you killed him. So,
wow, thanks, Eric.
Yeah.
Gallagher died.
Oh, no. When?
Just the other day. The same day Kevin Conroy died.
Oh, man.
The Kevin Conroy news was all over. Gallagher was actually the one that got buried.
Shit. I remember somebody was just like, I was telling somebody that I was playing Gotham Knights. This is not a spoiler because it's in the opening cinematics. Batman dies in there. And then he told me that, like, he died. And I was just like, oh, funny, right? Because Gotham Knights. And he's just like, no, like, he's gone. I'm like, oh, well, now I'm the asshole. So.
Is Kevin Conroy the voice of Batman in?
I don't know. Actually, I didn't look. He's the voice of. To me, he's the voice of Batman.
Well, so. Yeah, he is to a lot of people. So where was I going with this? Oh, Weird Al artist reactions. So like, obviously, yeah, there's been tons of tons of positives that have come out of it. Like, one of my favorite ones is when he called Kurt Cobain, and Kurt Cobain's first question was, "Is it going to be about food?" And he goes, "No, it's going to be about how nobody can understand anything that you're saying." And Kurt goes, "Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, do that." And then he said that's how he knew Nirvana made it as a band, because Weird Al parodied him. And that's always been one of my favorite stories. Chameleonaire, who wrote Ridin' Dirty, loved the White Nerdy song so much that he posted it on his MySpace page. And he even said, like, dude, he's rapping like Crazy Bone. This is insane. I had no idea he knew how to rap like this. And when Chameleonaire won the Grammy would be the music award.
Yeah.
When he won his Grammy, he actually went up to Weird Al and thanked him. And he said, "I don't think I would have won this if it wasn't for you." Like, some people have been really cool about it. Some people have had stipulations like, who was it? When he did Dire Straits, I think, they said yes as long as they could be involved with it and, like, play guitar, so they did. Paul McCartney didn't have an issue with him doing chicken pot pie instead of Live and Let Die, but because he's such a vegan, he didn't want it to be chicken. So Al ended up scrapping it because he couldn't come up. He said tofu pot pie didn't work. So he just didn't do it. One of my favorite ones was, I think it was Flea, who had an issue with, he's like, "Oh, I didn't mind that he parodied us, but I just think he did a really shitty job." And then the person who wrote the article says the guy who's written 20 songs about California. So that one cracked me up too. But yeah, most people have been pretty cool about it, so.
He's a living legend for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like I said, and that's the thing, right? He's never had any actual scandals, so they put scandals into the biopic. But there were some kernels of truth in the biopic, though. He really did record Another One Rides the Bus in a bathroom. That actually did happen. Madonna did suggest Like a Surgeon. She actually contacted him and said, "So when are you going to do Like a Surgeon?" And so that was real. So there was a couple of truths in there. He really does get his accordion from a traveling salesman.
Did he really?
Yeah, so that was true. That's in the movie. So there were truths in there for sure.
Even the truths just sound fucking weird. You know what I mean?
That's the best part, yeah. And Dr. Demento being played by Rainn Wilson was so fucking perfect for casting. Because he just channeled Dwight to be Dr. Demento, and it worked.
Okay.
And it worked really well. So major props there. Yes. I just lost connection for a second. Am I still live? I'm still live.
Yep. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I'm here.
I was going to ask you.
We're live, guys.
We're doing this live.
Doing it live.
Is it on Netflix or something? Or like
It's on the Roku channel.
Is it? Okay.
Or Plex.
Okay.
Or Plex.
Oh, crap. I got to set it up again.
Well, whose fault is that? Not mine.
That's my fault. I had to reinstall Windows, so now all that stuff is not saved. So I'll message you later.
I was trying to figure out, Eric, if I want to rewatch Dragon Ball Super from the beginning, or if I want to go all the way back to Z. I'm debating that.
If you're going back to Z, are you doing Kai?
I refuse to do Z unless it's actually subtitles now, because I can't go back and listen to that dialogue anymore. I can't. Kai ruined me on the original English dub of Z. So the only way to watch original Z for me now is I have to watch it with subtitles.
I feel like, man, I would say go back to Z because Z is so good. But you can literally skip all of Spirit Way. All of it.
Garlic Jr.
All of it. Literally, you watch the Saiyans. Oh, here's the order you should watch it, right? Raditz arrives. Raditz dies. Goku dies. Skip everything up until like Vegeta and Nappa land. You don't need to watch anything between
You can watch
that.
Goku train though. It's good to get King Kai in there.
Okay, yeah, do some sort of a little bit of training here and there. Then from there, there's
Watch
three
the
parts
Saiyan
that
saga.
really piss me off. Here's the three parts that really piss me off. Right,
Okay.
the Snake Way, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen the Snake Way episodes on Toonami that I'm just like, this is garbage. This is hot garbage.
Like Kai cut a lot of that shit out. Kai cuts out Princess Snake. Kai cuts out Goku falling into hell. He just does Snake Way until he gets there.
Okay. I feel like that should be fine. I just found
Kai
it
cuts out Garlic Jr. Thank God.
Yeah, cut out. You don't need that.
Cut out Marin.
I did not like. You know what? I take it back. It's the fact that I didn't like it that makes these scenes good. Is Goku's travel to Namek on the spaceship when he's doing his training, because you have that sense of urgency for the rest of the Z fighters.
Right.
Like, Goku's on his way. He's training, so he's going to be stronger. You see what Vegeta's capable of, and he's not training. Then Goku shows up and just bodies Raccoon. Like, the most disrespectful fight I think I've ever seen Goku do. He just fucking
because he hits him with one elbow and just he's done.
One shot him. Just one shot. And he's just like, hey, was I talking to you? Shut the fuck up. Like, oh God. That, like,
my favorite is when he first gets there and Jace is monologuing and Goku just punches him square in the face.
Listen, like, I can't stress this enough. Goku is the most disrespectful person when he knows he can win. He's like, yeah, no, shut up.
Here are the only things that Kai cut that I actually have a problem with. I'll go all the way back to the beginning. One, they cut out just a little too much of the Piccolo Gohan training. You don't get to feel their bond as much through Kai. I understand they only did what the manga did, but that was a strength the anime had. So that I wish they kept. Second thing that I really wish they kept in was I really wish they kept in the Otherworld tournament after the Cell Saga. And I wish they kept in some of the pre-Cell game episodes, like the driver's license, obviously, which is one of the best filler episodes in anime history. And I did get a kick out of the General Tao being a scumbag with the shelter. And
yes. Well,
I'm not is your name Goku? No, that's my dad. Yep, I'm out. He just
like, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. The Otherworld tournament I wish they kept in just because that was fun. And it lets you meet a couple other characters, including the other Kais and everything. Other than that, those are the three things I wish they kept.
Gohan was the bad guy in that episode.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, because he showed up, and these guys were stealing everybody's money, but what they were selling was not actually a safe place. What they were selling was the illusion of peace and safety.
Yes.
And Gohan is like, that's not gonna protect you. And he just fucking blows it up. He's just like, if I can do it, he can do it. But you didn't have to do it. Now everybody's fucking terrified. Yep. What's wrong with you, Gohan? But that's young Gohan. No, I think all Saiyans are a little stupid.
I'm thankful they kept. I'm really thankful they got rid of crap like we didn't have to see. We already know the Saiyans are ruthless. We don't have to see the Arlia stuff where Vegeta and Nappa destroy the planet. That's just a filler episode. God, I freaking hated the fake Namek. where those aliens like trick Bulma and Krillin and Gohan into thinking they're on Namek and they're getting the Dragon Balls. It just delays their trip. Like, that was just a huge waste of time.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it's um there's a couple of there's not too much. Thankfully they cut the Frieza fight with Goku. The insane amount of filler in it. You get all the stuff that you needed to get out of it in Kai.
I'm gonna go back to that space travel and training, which really pissed me off. Like Goku and Bulma and Krillin, and then like make it to Namek. It feels like within a week. And now that you mentioned that they stopped at a different planet and then make it to Namek, and it took Goku, it felt like a year to get there.
Well, Goku was on the Capsule Corp spaceship. They were actually using a Namekian spaceship, so I think there's your difference.
Yeah.
One was probably better than the other.
Just slightly, apparently. Jesus Christ, though.
Look at all the Piccolos. I'm glad they cut the extensive crap out of that fight, because that would have been a nightmare to sit through. Garlic Jr. was a good cut, because again, that didn't accomplish anything. It was just a filler arc anyway. He was never an interesting character, and it was like, what was it? It was only like 10 episodes, but it feels like it takes forever.
Yeah.
I guess the only real complaint I have about that is that it does kind of suck that, like, there's no good gap between when you think Frieza's dead versus when he comes back. He kind of comes right back in Kai. Like, it goes straight to Frieza counterattacking.
Hear me out. You watch this in out of order. You have to watch it out of order. So you do the end of Namek, and then you start the Future Trunks storyline.
Okay. Yeah.
Then when Trunks leaves to go back, you pick up where Frieza is. Now you have both stories lined up. And then you go back to the movie when you're done with the Cell, or sorry, not the movie, but like the Future Trunks storyline after Cell to finish up the Future Trunks storyline as well.
Oh, goddamn.
That's the order that I would do it.
That's one way to finish his story. Androids and Cell Saga didn't cut a lot that I would have felt like needed to be kept, other than what I talked about. That thing with Gohan. And of course the driver's license thing was great. But other than that, they pretty much stay intact. The Boo Saga, other than the Otherworld tournament, the Boo Saga probably could have afforded to cut more, actually.
The Boo, like, yes and no. There's so much going on in Boo Saga that it blows my mind how many different transformations / fusions we have going on, and it's literally the worst paced, like, saga in my opinion. It's just so badly paced, and it really does, like, show you how bad Gohan is. Like, he's just a dumb fuck.
Yeah. Oh, you know what else I forgot that they cut that I would have preferred to keep in? I liked when the Ginyu Force arrives on King Kai's planet. Because that actually shows you that Yamcha and Tien actually got stronger than you thought they did.
Yeah.
So because otherwise, without that, you go straight into the Android Saga. You're like, what is Yamcha even doing?
Okay, but, like, hear me out on this. The Z Fighters make it to King Kai's pretty quickly, which, you know, they don't fall into hell, so whatever, we'll give them that.
Yeah.
They do the exact same training that Goku did, and they are able to fight the Ginyu Force.
Yes.
Now, either King Kai did not train Goku well enough, or Goku is a terrible listener, because when he was done with training, It took, and he's the only one that actually uses Kaioken really, and he was barely able to beat Vegeta. And if we're talking about technicalities, he didn't win.
True.
That was Yajirobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not the worst thing in the world that they cut it.
Yeah.
Because continuity-wise, you're right, it doesn't really add up. Although,
The power scaling there is just way off. That's
but
all.
at the same time, with the Saiyans, when they're pushed to the brink of death and they come back way stronger. So,
Right. I mean, like that should have made it even more for Goku. Goku should have came back at Frieza level if that was the case.
right. But instead, I guess we can kind of try to. This is way too much logic for Dragon Ball Z, but now I'm into this. So
Yeah.
all right, so Vegeta and Goku are roughly on the same level after their fight, right?
No. So Vegeta is stronger than Goku, on Earth, right?
Yeah.
Like we're talking about the Earth on Saiyan Saga. So Vegeta's stronger than Goku. And he has to use Kaioken ×3, I believe, to just pass him.
Right.
To get past him. Which is like the technique is what gives Goku the heart attack. So that's like I want you to think about that. So Goku was basically just strong enough to beat Nappa. But Vegeta was on a whole different level. He shouldn't have won that fight, bro. He shouldn't have won that fight.
Well, Gohan also assisted big time.
Well, yeah, and also Goku has the best armor available.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So when they come back from the brink of death, Vegeta's strong enough to take down Zarbon and Dodoria.
Yes. And he knows it. Like
right, but he still struggles against the Ginyu Force. Goku comes back, but Goku also trains the entire time he's going to Namek, whereas Vegeta doesn't. So I think that's where Goku got ahead.
Yes. So that's where I'm okay with it, right? Like he trained under intense gravity, traveling the entire time. Meanwhile, Vegeta didn't have that opportunity because he had his ass handed to him. So he spent that entire time recovering on his way to Namek. So, which is fine. But like now we have Chaozu, Tien, Yamcha, who literally have they didn't train that long. Because it's less than a year because you need to revive them within a year's time or you can't revive them at all.
Yeah.
Because of the Dragon Ball situation. So they haven't even been there a year, which Goku decided to stay at King Kai's longer up until the Nameks got there so he could train on that higher gravity. Anyway. But somehow the three of them who were nowhere near Piccolo's level, yet alone Goku's level, can now fight the Ginyu Force, which is now above Vegeta level.
That's another thing. Goku I'm glad they cut some of that Snake Way stuff because all Goku literally had to do was jump down into hell and run up the escape stairs, and he would have been in King Yemma's desk.
Also, who puts the stairs there?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. But they were trying to say that like power levels, the worst thing that they did to the Dragon Ball franchise was make power levels. They're just like it really has nothing to do with anything. Like it's meaningless.
They abandoned them by Super.
Not totally, but yeah. Because now they're just like, yeah, well, Super does this thing where they rely so much on the old, like your fighting technique is more important than your actual power level. Um, fuck, it's weird, dude. Okay, so Master Roshi in Dragon Ball could blow up the moon
Mm-hmm.
because he does, which I know I'm over exaggerating. If he can blow up the moon, means he can blow up a planet.
Mm-hmm. He can at
Vegeta
least
could also,
channel that much power, yeah.
yeah. So he's a planet destroyer. Now, who else is planet destroyer level? You got Frieza,
Mm-hmm.
clearly planet destroyer level, and the rest of the Z fighters, because like Master Roshi is probably on the low end, right? Like I would say he's the weakest fighter. No, Chaozu. Maybe Chaozu is the weakest fighter.
Well, that's just it. We learn Roshi's power level in Dragon Ball Z when Bulma's fucking with the Scouter. And it's like, oh, that's all it took was to destroy the moon. Power level of like 134. Which means that literally everybody in Frieza's army could destroy the moon.
Right, but like they can't
But they
because
can't.
they don't have the technique.
Right. So that's where you're going with that.
Yes. So
Okay,
it doesn't matter what your power level is if you don't have the technique to actually pull off the shit. Because what's her name in Super? The Brawly one. I can't remember her name right now.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the characters from that, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So there's two of them, right? There's the cocky one, and then there's the really quiet girl.
Yeah.
Who's got like the rage ability. It's basically she's Broly.
Oh, you're talking about... Okay, I thought you were talking about the Brawly movie.
No. I'm talking about in Super, like the.
Oh, you're talking about
Khalifa
and Kale.
Yes. Okay. So I can't remember which one is the quiet one.
That's Kale.
That's Kale.
She's
okay,
the one that goes into Berserker Super Saiyan.
Right. Okay. So she's got undoubtedly way more power than the rest of them. No ability whatsoever. No technique. Therefore, cannot win fights. Right. However, if she gets mad enough and can hold enough energy, she's not taking damage.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just glad that they brought it back to a more martial arts level. Also, let's just talk about like Goku's desire to fucking die.
His desire to just fight everybody.
Yeah,
he's the villain in Super from the other points of view of the universes.
Yeah,
he orchestrates the tournament that gets them all erased.
Well, in hindsight, he also makes the universe, because he was gonna those universes were gonna get destroyed regardless. This is at least giving them a fighting chance.
Yes, but they don't know that. They don't see it that way.
But yeah, he is the bad guy in the Super universe. It just hands down. I remember.
Did you crap your pants in that Goku Black saga when you realize he's the villain? When you see him confront Trunks, you're like, "Oh, this is gonna be good."
I knew that entire saga was gonna be good. And you want to know something that most people missed in the Tournament of Power? When 17 wished to get all of the universes back, that's all of the universes, including the one Goku Black is in. Zamatsu is back. And he's on his own. So I was expecting him to come back. I'm expecting Goku Black to come back at some point.
I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with more storylines with all these universes now, because like the four strongest universes, we haven't even seen them.
Yeah,
because they weren't in the tournament, which means the friggin' Pride Fighters are only the fifth strongest in all the universes.
And they wiped the floor.
Yeah, that was the best part when they were talking. They're like, we've only got 3 Pride Fighters yet, and the friggin' Destroyer, the clown, he's just like, yeah, but 2 of them are Jiren and Top. I'm not worried. Because he just knew. Because he knew they could just destroy everybody. They knew
Yeah.
Jiren was their secret weapon.
Well, like, it makes you think, right? Like, are the gods scared or just impressed? Because if Jiren and Top are on god level power, I think there would be more assassination attempts on them.
Possibly. But I think that the gods of destruction also know that relatively they're relatively safe in their positions.
It's not even the position thing. I think I'm looking at this like, are they just amused? Like, do they look at them like we look at cats? Like, cats are like God's murder machines, but they're 9 pounds, so they really can't do anything to us. You know what I mean? Like, the things that they do are very impressive. I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty fucking cool. I couldn't do that, but I don't need to because I'm on a different level. You know what I mean?
Nature's perfect killing machines, but they're pissed off all the time because they only weigh 9 pounds and we keep picking them up and kissing them.
Yep.
They are yeah. Well, that was like what I heard that like elephants in nature look at humans the way that we look at puppies. They think we're cute.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite animal statistics. It's like, oh,
Aren't they scared of rats though?
yeah. And people are scared of insects.
That's true.
So like, yeah. You can't make fun of the elephant for being afraid of rats if you see a friggin' spider and you scream. And I know several people who do that.
I know if I see a giant spider in my shower, I'm not showering that day.
Eric, goddamn, dude, take a shower. No.
Nah.
No.
Extra deodorant today.
So, Eric, how was your trip to Australia? Great. I didn't shower for 2 weeks.
I would just not go to Australia.
Everything is big there. They have giant-sized everything.
Oh my god.
Yes, they got giant snakes. They got giant lizards. They've got kangaroos will flat out murder you.
But to answer your questions, or your question, Z. I think you should start with Z.
All right. Well, you talked me into it. I've been looking for... I don't have anything to watch at the moment. So I've been looking for like something new to kind of go back and... I'm not like in the mood to start anything new.
Oh, I was going to say, I have an anime that I would recommend. Have you started Demon Slayer?
No.
I would recommend it.
Okay.
This is an anime that does not have filler.
Like Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah. Well, it's like Yu Yu Hakusho, but there's a couple of episodes that feel like they are filler episodes, but they are not. They're more character-centric episodes, if that makes sense.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No. They're not. It's just like, oh, why are they shopping? Is this a filler episode? And then you're just like, oh no, they're just doing this because it's giving them a reason to give more backstory to something else.
Yeah, that's not filler.
Yeah. So Demon Slayer.
All right. Has it ended?
No. It's going to. It has a definitive end. It is going to end.
I would prefer to binge something that's already done.
Okay, then never mind. Hold off.
Just because it's going to be so much better. If I catch up to it, then I'm going to have to figure out when I'm going to watch new ones, and then...
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
And
have you tried One Piece?
Is that done?
No,
everybody wants me to watch that.
You can start One Piece and you'll die before they finish. It's been going on forever now.
I'll just watch one episode a day. How bad can it be?
It will take you
4 Eric, why am I in my 40s still watching this?
I'm not even joking. I think they're on 1,000 episodes. I'm looking it up right now.
Oh my god. See, this is why I like binging Cowboy Bebop. There's 26 episodes. And One Punch Man, there's like 26 episodes of that too. Those were easy. Do you have any of those?
There are 1,038 episodes so
Dude,
thus
no.
far.
Even The Simpsons doesn't have that many.
1,038 episodes of One Piece.
Holy crap. Why do you hate me? Did you watch any of the new Rick and Morty's?
I have not.
Plex?
I need to catch up.
Plex. Okay. We'll discuss that. Oh my god. Yes, I need to Yeah, I think I'm going to go back. I think I'm going to do Kai again cuz I do really like Kai. I like the English voices. I like that because they're all experienced voice actors now. They are putting in a much better quality effort than they ever did in the original Funimation. So yeah, definitely gonna. Yeah, I guess I'll do Z. But I'm gonna hate that Busaka.
You can there was just so much that they could have done. It was going so good.
The Busaka takes too long.
It's oddly placed. It's just they don't explain why Boo exists.
Yeah, they kinda do, but they kinda don't. Like, yeah, he was created to be an instrument of evil, and they lost control of him, so they had to seal him up. And Babidi thinks he's going to do what his father did, and see how that worked out for him.
And it's funny because in Super, they make it seem like King Cold, or at least, yeah, King Cold knew about Boo.
Because Frieza says, there were two warriors my father told me never to tackle, with Majin Buu and Beerus the Destroyer.
Correct.
And you're telling, and that's when because he learns that Majin Buu was killed by Goku, and Goku went toe-to-toe with Beerus. So, yeah. By the way, we just talk about what a great character Beerus is?
Beerus
and Whis. Beerus and Whis. They are fantastic characters.
No, I'm not getting involved in this. But sir, if you don't, they're going to destroy all your food. Well, now that you mention it, maybe I can do something.
Yeah. Hey, and you know, and that's kind of cool too. Like, yeah, he's a god of destruction, but we also see that he has a code because he tells Goku, I can't just erase Zamasu. Like, I can't just go in and kill another guy. Like, he can't just do that. He has to have a reason. And when they finally have the evidence, then that's when he says, you know, oh, I'll take him out myself, but, you know, I need to see the proof that he's actually doing this. And then when he gets the proof, and that's the best part, is Goku's flipping out. Whis! Whis! And then as soon as he kills him, Whis does his time skip. He goes, did you already forget, Goku? Although that does make for that really funny moment when he has to do the time reversal. So Goku jumps in and eradicates Frieza right in front of Vegeta, and all Vegeta knows is that Goku stole his kill.
Oh, so good.
He was gonna destroy the Earth. I didn't have a choice.
You know, when I saw, like, because we saw that in movie theaters, didn't we?
You may have. I didn't.
Oh, I thought I saw it was, maybe it was Matt. I can't remember. I saw it in theaters with somebody, and it was funny as shit because, like, that fight, it started off with Goku Frieza, and then out of nowhere, Vegeta just starts punching Goku, and it's Goku Vegeta, and Frieza's like, wait, what? It's just so
because he's so mad that he wants a turn.
Yeah.
I love it. And can we in the grand scheme of anime, is Vegeta not one of the best characters ever created?
Yeah, no, hands
Just
down.
with his growth, his transformation, everything he goes through, like,
He's a better character than Goku.
yes, for sure.
But, honestly, Oolong's a better character than Goku.
No, I wouldn't go that far. No, Goku's not a bad character. He's a bad father.
Yeah.
He's a terrible father.
He's up there.
Yeah, he's not a good one. Vegeta,
You know who's
on the
a
other
good
hand,
father?
Vegeta,
Piccolo.
Piccolo's Gohan's real dad. And that's another thing. Super had some genuinely funny moments I wasn't expecting either. Like when Vegeta tells Goku that's why they're both married to strong-willed women. It's wired into their DNA. And Piccolo has that moment of clarity. And he goes, that explains everything. He's like, that's why we're wired that way, What about when Goku can't control his instant transmission after the Universe 6 saga and he teleports into Bulma's bedroom and she just screams for Vegeta? And he comes bursting in that door.
What is wrong with you? It's like, oh, I don't want to see those saggy things.
So great.
Oh.
It's funny because Vegeta will just say stuff that's like, he calls Jocko jackass. And it's funny because he's saying it so matter-of-factly that he probably thinks that's his name. Hey, jackass. Like, that's genuinely funny. That's another fun character, Jocko. Like, another new character that I had a good time with. I'm like, they could have made him such an easy, annoying character, but they actually made him pretty damn funny.
When did they first meet Jocko?
In Super. He's a Super character. He's not in Z at all.
I don't remember when they first met him, though. That's what's upsetting me because he's so important to the rest of Super.
He kind of is, but he kind of fades out after the Zamasu stuff. Because
he comes back with a vengeance, at least in the manga.
Yeah. Well, he's involved in the Universe 6 saga because he's the one that discovers Frost is cheating.
Which I'm just starting to think that the Frieza race is just bad all around, no matter where they're.
Well, that's Beerus gets a good line too. He goes, now he doesn't seem all that different from Frieza. That's the other part.
Yeah.
When Goku sees the other fighters, he goes, that bear guy looks strong. Whoa, that guy looks like Frieza. That's a robot. That's not fair. And then, you're a Saiyan? Like, it's the big reveal. And there's no acknowledgement of Hit. He's the silent character until he's needed.
Yep. And the fight that happens on Earth is just like, sorry, Goku. Someone put a hit out on you, so I'm here to kill you. And Goku's like, yeah, I know. I put the hit out on me.
Yeah, because he wanted that's how badly he wanted to fight Hit again. Like, what the hell? Fucking Goku, dude. So we talked about Dragon Ball. We talked about Clerks. We talked about a little Halloween horror. Kind of updated everybody about our lives. I think this was a successful comeback episode.
Yeah.
We'll try to get back on schedule, guys, and try to be back every Sunday night. Like I said, it was mostly on me, so I'll take that responsibility. I am going to be launching my own podcasting channel, and I'm going to try to get a weekly show back up. I've mentioned this before, but I'm taking all of my concepts and just making one show, and each week will be a different version of these concepts. Sometimes you'll hear Eric, sometimes you'll hear Dan, sometimes you'll hear some other guests, sometimes it'll just be me. And I don't know what I'm going to do, because I'm going to figure it out that week. Like, I'm going to record the episode, and I'm going to be like, okay, the episode's in the can. What am I going to do next week? What do I want to watch or review or whatever? And then I'll just figure it out. So, but I've got some plans. Like, I've got stuff in place. I just don't know where I'm going with that yet. Another thing Eric and I have been discussing is we're going to do a playthrough live on Twitch where we're going to play a game together. So, I haven't figured that one out yet, but it's probably going to be Legend of Zelda. pretty
Yeah.
much. Legend of Zelda. Yeah. Yeah.
Good game.
Good game.
Good game.
Maybe we'll do a couple Zelda games. We could possibly arrange that.
Just start in order. Let's go back from the original Nintendo. We could skip Zelda 2. And then
Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and
yep.
Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. And then I don't actually know which one comes after Majora's Mask. Is that Minish Cap? Because that was Game Boy Advance.
Okay. Hold on. I think you're right. Or is it Four Swords?
That's a good question. I don't know. You know who does know? Wikipedia.
Do not Google Legend of Zelda Time Order.
Oh, we're not going to play the
fuck with your head.
Can we play
no CGI?
No CDI games? Are you sure? Let's see. History. Other games. Okay, here we go. So Legend of Zelda, and then Adventure of Link. Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, Ocarina, Link's Awakening DX, which is the same game, just with some additional stuff. Majora's Mask. The Oracle games came next, Seasons and Ages.
Okay, and
then Four Swords, then Wind Waker, and then Four Swords Adventures came after that. Then Minish Cap, Twilight Princess, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, Skyward Sword, I'm skipping the HD remakes, Link Between Worlds, Triforce Heroes, Breath of the Wild, Link's Awakening Remake, and then the newest one will be Tears of the Kingdom.
Huh. I'm looking at this timeline thing, and this is very interesting. I wonder if I can zoom in on this. So I'm looking at like the actual timeline for Zelda.
Good luck.
And it has creation of Hyrule, Hero of Time. So that's Link's Link to the Past as the first one.
Right.
Then it has Minish Cap. Then it has...
I thought Skyward Sword is the first one in the timeline.
There's like a divergence here.
I know there's like 3 timelines.
Yeah. So it goes Minish Cap, Four Swords. This is all creation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Skyward Sword. I'm sorry, did I say like I said Link to the Past, and then Skyward Sword was the first one.
Right.
From Skyward Sword,
I can't
Minish
follow
Cap,
this timeline. Holy
Four
crap.
Swords, Ocarina of Time, and Ocarina of Time causes the time split.
Yes.
So then you have, after Ocarina of Time, you have A Link to the Past, which this is the split. It's a 3-way split. It either goes Link to the Past, or Wind Waker, or Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you go the Majora's Mask route, it's the Twilight Princess. Looks like Four Swords Adventure. Then Hyrule Warriors. And then the unified timeline, which means it comes back. You got Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, Zelda Breath of the Wild, and then soon to be Breath of the Wild 2.
Tears of the Kingdom, yeah.
From the divergence, from the Wind Waker divergence, like after the time split, if it goes Wind Waker, it goes Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, the original Zelda,
and
then Adventures of Link.
Right, but that makes sense because Zelda 2 is a direct sequel to the original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Okay. So what the fuck happens in Spirit Tracks where you're like starting
I think
over?
one of them is One of them, the timeline is Kid Link,
Oh,
Link
child
wins, and then Kid Link, Ganon wins. And then there's like the adult Link timeline.
era. Oh,
There's
this
a
is
lot.
so that timeline makes sense if your Kid Link Ganon wins. That's Wind Waker
Yeah.
down. All right. So this one would be Kid Link Zelda Link wins.
Right.
A Link to the Past. This one looks like it is The Legend of Zelda Ancient Storm.
Never heard of it.
Hold on.
I'm lost. I can't follow this damn timeline.
Yeah, no, it says Legend of Zelda Ancient Storm. Then you have 4 seasons. Candace of Hyrule. A Link's Awakening.
Cadence of Hyrule? You said Candace.
Cadence of Hyrule.
Candace of Hyrule.
Link's Awakening. What is this one? What the fuck does that say?
The Legend of Zelda. Now, if they ever made a TV series out of Zelda, would you want them to follow storylines from the games, or would you want it to be completely original?
I would like them to be
Right?
I don't want them to make a story about Link and Zelda. I would want them to create a world of Hyrule with the legends of power, courage, and wisdom representing Zelda, Link, and Ganon as legend.
We have a topic for next week.
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, continue to check us out, support our stuff. Eric, how can the folks out there listen to you?
You don't listen to me, please. I'll you can catch me on here, CKCC Radio, Nerd Table, whenever we do another one. Chris and Eric talk. We do these every Sunday, except for that month we didn't.
It's okay. We're back.
Matt and I do a YouTube thing as well. You catch it on YouTube. Just the Sick Minds of Matt and Eric. That's it. That's all I've been doing.
There you go. So keep checking us out, supporting us. Look for the new channel coming up. And Eric, I'm sad this is my last episode doing this at age 37.
Well,
The next time we talk, I will be a different number.
What number?
I almost answered seriously for a minute. This is how I know I'm getting up there. I have 2 years left.
37 in a row.
2 years left until got to do it the right way for the camera. 2 years left. Just 2.
Hey,
I got to make this. I got to make these last 2 years count.
We look all right for our age.
I still get carded on occasion, and I like it. But there's some gray coming in up here, and 1 or 2 down here. So
yeah, I need to clean up a little bit.
I got to clean up. I actually look terrible for camera, but whatever. This is a free show. You guys don't care. Anyway, I have some other cool project ideas in mind that I want to get going. So just stay tuned, guys. Keep supporting the YouTube channel. I'm going to try to bring the streaming back. My work schedule has not been friendly to that for the past couple weeks, so I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to get that going again with Dan at the helm. But I'm going to get back on the Super Nintendo project. And something I did announce on the channel that I'll tell you about, Eric, in case you want to help participate in this. I'm going to start releasing some short videos grading each of the SNES games. The grading curvature, I'm trying to remember how I came up with this. I don't think I wrote it down, but I keep thinking of it again. So each game is going to receive a grade based on your standard video game stuff. So graphics, sound and soundtrack, story, controls. There's a couple. There were like 6 general categories I was going to work with: graphics, sound, controls, story, replayability. I'm trying to remember if there was what the other one was. And then I'm going to do unique grades to that game. So like for Super Mario World, which would be the first game, I'm going to grade it as a Mario game. I'm going to grade it as a 2D platformer. You know, I'm going to grade it based on how good the power-ups are, how innovative it is, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to get the general score, and then they're going to get the unique scores, and then they're going to get a combination of that. And I'm gonna do it based on your typical school grading system, A through F.
Okay.
So like Link to the Past will be judged for all the general stuff, but then how does it rank as a Zelda game? How does it rank as an overworld adventure game? Stuff like that.
So can we make an S tier and put that in S tier?
Well, that's how I'm doing the rankings on the SNES games now as I do them. And there've only been 3 S tier games thus far.
Can I take a guess?
Yeah, go for it.
Zelda.
Right. Remember, I've only played about 60 games, the first 60 games. So if it's a newer title, it's not going to count.
Super Mario RPG.
Too new. Haven't gotten there.
Too new. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I already mentioned 2 of them. Zelda Link to the Past.
Okay, yeah.
And what's the other game I just talked about a minute ago?
Oh, Jesus, man. I don't fucking remember.
Mario World. just talked about it. Yeah. Mario World and Zelda. And then there's one other game that I've played that I've considered S tier. I'll give you a hint. It involves vampires.
It involves Castlevania.
Yeah, Super Castlevania 4.
Okay.
That got the other S tier. There have been a few A tier games. Final Fight got A tier because I had a blast playing that. Final Fantasy 2/4 got A tier. What else got A tier? Trying to think what else I specifically gave A tier to. There are a couple others in there. A lot of B's, mostly C's, and there have been a couple of F's. Very few, but like Ultraman got an F, Pit Fighter got an F. The games that are like notoriously bad got F's. So the games I was expecting to give F tiers to got the F tier. But yes, they'll be graded individually, and I'm going to release those as individual videos, and they shouldn't be very long. So that'll probably get the viewership up more since I'm doing the individual grading instead of posting the entire stream in its entirety, which I know isn't getting a lot of views, but that's fine. It is what it is. But we had a good time. Always glad to talk to you. We'll be back next Sunday. Check us out. Watch the streams. Support the channel. And support creative people.
Yeah.
And we're approaching the holiday season, so if you like us and you want to buy us a Christmas gift, let me know, and I'll give you our contact information. So, or you can just PayPal me, and I'll buy it. I like you this much dollars amount. Fair, fair. I can buy something with that. But yeah, we will see you guys next time, next week, same time, same place. Hopefully.
Same time, same place.
Hopefully.